This is a summary of Romeo and Juliet by Morgan Hall with an assignment at the end. William Shakespeare was born in Stratford-upon-Avon on or around April 23, 1564. Shakespeare's parents were John and Mary Arden Shakespeare. November 27, 1582, Shakespeare married Anne Hathaway, who was 8 years older than him. Susanna, Shakespeare's daughter, was born around May 26, 1583. Hamnet and Judith, twins, were born around February 2, 1585. Around 1592, it's believed that Shakespeare's Henry VI was performed at the Rose Theatre in London. By 1594, Shakespeare had rapidly risen as one of the top playwrights of the time. August of 1596, his son Hamnet died. In 1599, the Globe Theatre was built. Shakespeare was one of the investors for this new theatre. April 26, 1616, William Shakespeare died. Feuding families' children are bound to fall in love and take their own lives, which will end the feud. The setting is Verona, Italy. The feuding families are the Montagues, which are Romeo's family, and the Capulets, which are Juliet's family. A fight breaks out between the two houses that eventually involve Benvolio and Tybalt. Benvolio goes to tell Romeo about the fight, but he does not care because he's heartbroken over getting dumped by the love of his life, Rosaline. Romeo finds out that Rosaline is going to be at a party thrown by the Capulets and agrees to crash it with Benvolio. Meanwhile, Juliet and the nurse, who has raised Juliet from birth, are talking about a marriage arrangement between Juliet and Paris, a young count and cousin of the prince. At the party, the two meet, and it's love at first sight. Later, they both realize that they've fallen in love with the mortal enemy of their families. After the party, Romeo sneaks away from his friends and cousin. He hides below Juliet's window. Juliet is talking to herself about her love for Romeo. Romeo steps out from behind the orchard to talk with Juliet. This is the famous balcony scene. They talk to each other about love and they vow their love to one another. Juliet says that she'll send her nurse to Romeo tomorrow and he's to tell her when and where they will be married. The next morning, Romeo tells Friar Lawrence about his plans to marry Juliet. He agrees to help the two lovers because he hopes that the marriage will end the feud between the two houses. The nurse and the friar help work out the plan, and Romeo and Juliet are married. Mercutio, Benvolio, and other friends of Romeo are discussing the heat of the day and how it can make tempers rise when Tybalt and some other Capulets come in to challenge Romeo to a duel. Romeo enters and declines because Tybalt is now his family. A fight ensues, and Tybalt ends up killing Mercutio. Romeo is overtaken by anger and kills Tybalt. Romeo is banished from Verona forever. Juliet is saddened by her cousin's death and also for Romeo. Romeo and Juliet spend Romeo's last night in Verona together and then Romeo leaves. The nurse then informs Juliet that she must marry Paris. Juliet tells everyone she's going to confess. Juliet goes to see the friar because she knows that she will be married on Thursday to Paris if she doesn't do something. Together they come up with a plan to fake her death. Friar Lawrence gives Juliet a potion that will make her appear dead for 42 hours. Friar Lawrence will then send Romeo a letter to inform him of the plan and tell him to let Juliet out of her tomb. Juliet takes the potion and goes home. Juliet acts as if nothing is wrong and continues to make the others believe she is preparing to marry Paris. While everyone is busy with wedding preparations, Juliet takes the poison. They find her body the next morning. Everyone thinks that Juliet is dead, and Romeo's servant runs to Mantua, where he's exiled, to tell him. He buys a poison and rushes back before the friar's letter can find him. Romeo enters the tomb to find Paris. They fight, and Romeo kills Paris. He goes into the tomb to find Juliet and drinks the poison and dies. The friar comes running into the tomb, but it is too late. Juliet awakens to find Romeo dead. The friar leaves because the guards are coming. Juliet takes Romeo's dagger and kills herself. The prince, Montague, and Capulet enter. The friar explains everything that has happened to them. Montague and Capulet end the feud after they see how much damage it has done. Here's where you guys come in. In your reading, you have seen how the outcome of just one event in the plot of the play seems to determine the entire course of the play for good or evil. For example, had Romeo not tried to interfere between Mercutio and Tybalt, the rest of the play might have been very different. Similarly, had Friar Lawrence's letter reached Romeo, everything might have ended happily. I want you to choose 2 of the crucial events from Act 4 listed below, and then brainstorm how the rest of the plot would unfold. Then you are going to create a synopsis and present it to the class of your own ending to one of the scenes or one of the events. Make sure that you think about this carefully, put thought into it, be creative, and I'm going to leave this slide up on the board until you guys are finished.